Slang, idioms, jargon, the word.
Alright.
Have a cookie,
Evil
bro. Calm
influences
yourself.
from every
Old men,
generation.
young girls, predators, killers, the internet is full of cruel and disturbing people of all ages who love to get their freak on.
I just love 30 Rock.
Ew. Yeah, he looks.
Plastering their
Creepy as fuck.
personalities front and center, it's not uncommon for some of the most evil people in the world to have gathered a social media following, some of which have even gained hundreds of thousands of subscribers. These people are typically the scum of the earth, causing various degrees of harm and violence to innocent bystanders around them. However, as you'll see in this video, sometimes it's not that easy to spot from the surface. I wanted to take the challenge to find one evil influencer from each generation, allowing us to maybe compare how each age group interacts with the internet and to view a wide range of malicious intent from various creators. FYI, the middle generations were easy to find. The one on the
Of
outside,
course.
kinda hard, but I got there. Also, we're gonna be using these dates as the cutoff for the generations. I know there's some discrepancy as to when each generation starts and ends, but it's my video. I can do whatever I want. Anyways, thank you for joining us. Welcome to Pixels After Dark, and let's explore one evil creator from each generation. This video is a documentary exploring an evil influencer from every generation. This video aims to explore how disturbing creative education vibe.
Okay.
Viewer description.
Yep.
Editor.
Okay. Ew.
Toilet brush is the best
Oh
back
god.
scratcher ever.
Edirum, aka Edward Muscari.
Yeah, I don't even know what he did. And I already, expect the fucking worst. Oh my
Was
god.
the grandfather to YouTube rabbit holes that no one wanted to see, but couldn't look away. His unsightly appearance mixed with odd and unusual dances and song covers made
looks
him
like
the
Steve
perfect
Buscemi.
late-night video to cast to your TV to make your friends say, "Who the f is this
Yeah.
guy?" He's
Who the
Edirum.
fuck?
He's goofy in the same way a Fiverr hire is, and he built a large audience because of it. Soon, those creeped out became fans, and they quickly discovered that Ed was a pretty wholesome guy. Along with his
Oh,
sillier
no.
content, he made various tutorials about
What
all
did
kinds
he
of
do?
things in an attempt to help his younger audience learn everyday skills.
Well, we're going to show you how to
Oh,
pour
no.
something into something without spilling it.
He would interact with his audience and developed a good relationship with his fans, resulting in many
Is that supposed to be like clown Hitler? What the fuck? Okay, it's kind of wholesome so far. I'm terrified because he's in this video, so we know he's evil. I have no idea who this is, so I'm terrified to know what he did.
videos performing well for an old goof on YouTube, including one where he lip-synced Pretty Woman by Roy Orbison, rising over an
Okay.
unbelievable 4 million views. However, the reason for this wasn't for some majestic showmanship or entertaining demeanor. See, Ed had a natural charm. It was evident in his videos. He was cool, relaxed, confident, and carried himself in a way that no one could ignore. He had a spunk to him. However, this wasn't anything new.
We're gonna do it over
What?
again so we get it right.
Fans soon found out that Ed used to be a television and radio star back in the 70s and the 80s and went by the nickname Uncle Ed. He ran alongside
Oh,
other
no.
late-night television programs in Kansas City and quickly began rising in popularity.
Oh no, is he an Epstein? Is he one of? Oh god.
People were charmed by his cool demeanor, and combined with his soothing radio voice made him the perfect candidate to be a rising star. A chance that was, dare I say, thankfully, ripped from him after a crime he committed in 1986. In 86, Muscari was arrested for sexual battery of a
looks
14-year-old boy in Orlando,
Of
Florida.
course, every fucking time. Oh my god. Ah, of course.
His actions were reported to the police and prompted an investigation. He abruptly resigned from his position as a television host and was soon arrested and sentenced to 18
Good.
months in prison with 10 years probation.
Only 18 months. Only 18 months. What the fuck?
He had no defense and pleaded no contest, with his remarks to his actions even being, "I would never sexually offend again. But we can't help but sin. We're all human beings."
No. Bro. No. It's just you. Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry, but that is not a defense for sex offenders. You say we're all humans if you're driving 40 in a 30, not if you accidentally slip and pull down little Jimmy's pants. He was heartbroken at the reality that he lost any chance he had of being a television star. But what was worse was the life he had to live once becoming a registered sex offender. Ed claims that after informing his neighbors of his actions, he was excessively harassed, forcing him to move, an action that violated the laws of the sex offender registry. He figured if he moved secretly, he wouldn't have to disclose his past to his new neighbors. However, thinking you can fool the United States justice system that easy is wishful thinking. He was caught and would eventually be given additional parole for failing to comply with the sex offender rules and regulations. He continued to desperately try and hide his past, and feeling like a life with skeletons in his closet was better than those out, decided to move to South Carolina, violating the sex offender registration yet again.
Okay.
It was here that he would start his YouTube channel, and the rest is history. However, history would catch up to Ed much faster than he thought. Police eventually caught wind of his unauthorized move to South Carolina and his continuous attempt at cheating the sex offender rules and regulations. Still, giving a fair share of leniency, the courts decided that he could stay in South Carolina, however was issued an additional 5 years of probation, with heavy restrictions on using computers and the internet. Ed was unable to upload to his YouTube channel as a result of this and was distraught. His newfound fame online was Ed's second chance at the spotlight and a fractional remembrance at a life he once lived. I dare to say,
You know, sometimes you can judge a book by its cover. But just looking at this dude, you know he's fucking evil.
that this was the first time Ed felt actual joy in a while, and he was looking for any way to keep his YouTube channel running. He ended up getting in contact with a friend who agreed to take footage that he records and post it onto the Ederum YouTube channel. It's the good old teenage I give you money and you buy me liquor. However, it's a lot harder to get away with that in the sex offender world. They viewed this loophole as Ed violating parole, and as a result, after many breaks given to Ed for violating the sex offender registry, was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Only 2 years later,
Only 5 years. You know, there's people who get caught with like weed who get 5 years. Like you can do something stupid and get way more time. And this dude is out here, oh my god, fighting the government, trying to do awful shit. And he gets 18 months and then 5 years after years. And only because he got a YouTube channel. What the fuck?
later, he would die in that same place
Good.
after succumbing to lung cancer at the age of 79.
Alright, listen. I don't root for cancer. But this is an exception. I'm okay
So
with
just
it.
understand that Ed was also
fine with that.
tricking his audience too, or at least not disclosing his past actions. They would soon find out, and his legacy would change entirely. The video of him lip-syncing Pretty Woman would be memorialized on
Oh,
videos
God.
featuring YouTube's most disturbing content, gaining millions of views, and forever leaving Ed's legacy as the creepy pedophile dancing online.
Ew.
It's a shame to see how the mighty have fallen. Plasma Master Don,
That was
Baby
terrifying.
Boomers. Representing the Baby Boomers is Plasma Master Don, the dopest MC to ever bless the platform with his
Okay.
unmatched rhythm.
I don't know what he did. I'm gonna say maybe he killed someone. I don't want to say he's another, PDF file. I'm going to say he killed someone.
Freestyles.
I'm not sure.
68 years, still as humble as ever, killing the beat of passion, no matter what the weather. Age is just a number, nothing in this
Oh my
world
God.
will stop my hunger.
Giving himself the alias Grandpa Dope,
Might be
Don
a
spent his
PDF
later
file.
years in life creating rap music and posting it to his YouTube channel. Along with this, he also entertained his audience with various song covers of
Elton
modern day
John
music.
covers.
And I'm talking very modern day. He wasn't just singing Frank Sinatra, he was also singing Beamer Boy by Lil Peep. Needless to say, people were swept away by his lovable personality. His channel grew the most during the very dark time that was the coronavirus
Oh, no,
pandemic,
wasn't
and many people
long ago.
actually thanked Don for the smiles he gave to those most depressed. One user even said, "My grandfather passed away hours ago, and this was recommended to me. This made me very happy and sad at the
Oh
same time."
god.
If you
Why
compare
did he do
Plasma
it?
Master Don to Ederum, our last entry, they're actually pretty similar. Both are just two old folk having fun on the internet. However, this unfortunately wouldn't be the only ways they're similar. Yeah,
Uh,
he's a diddler.
oh,
On October 10th of
every
2020,
time, oh
a
my
post
God.
was made to the Morbid Reality subreddit titled "Sweetest Elderly YouTube Cover Artist Plasma Master Don is actually a recently registered sex offender." Linking to the sex offender registry, we can find the offenses of a familiar-looking Donzel Edward Owens, stating that he was found guilty for sexual imposition, giving unwanted sexual
is-
contact to another individual.
Is everyone on this goddamn list gonna be just another PDF file?
The victim, a juvenile male.
Of course.
By the way, I'm really sorry that this case is pretty much identical to the last. It's hard enough to find disturbing creators over 60, and if you take out the then you pretty much have, well, you pretty much have nothing. The funniest thing, and I'm telling you the most hilarious thing about this entire case, is his fans who refuse to believe that this person was him. They'll hold out hope that it's some evil identical twin with the same name. Dude, the birthdays are the same. It's in the channel's description. And then they really try and hit you with the curveball by questioning whether he really drives a 2005 Buick Century.
Dude.
Good morning, YouTube. I've had a few requests on making a video of my car. This is a 2005 Buick Century Custom.
Copy.
Yeah, there is no doubt this is the same man.
Copy.
Looking back now,
I feel bad. Like, I feel bad. If I, you know, if it came out that a YouTuber I like, who was like really wholesome, like if Markiplier came out, you know, as a PDF file, I'd be extremely sad. So
many
I kept
things
the
in this
copy,
channel seem suspicious.
but still.
He would ask for viewers' home addresses to send merchandise to, state that he was always available to chat if anyone was interested, and would even Skype with his younger audience, performing his songs live on camera.
Now, if we
They
could
know
just
like
throw
us.
a couple of
They know like
girls
us.
into
They
this
know like
chat.
us.
Wish he was my grandpa. I wouldn't mind the odd touching. To
Ugh,
which Don
gross.
favorited the comment.
Gross.
Favorited. I'm appalled. Even after the fact, Don would borderline troll his concerned audience by wishing a random 11-year-old boy, someone I suspect to be a subscriber on his channel, a happy birthday. Don pretty much ignored the allegations. However, soon after being
Frick.
outed, made a post stating he recently fell ill and might be shutting down the channel. Many people regarded this as Don's attempt to sneak away after being, you know, caught reaching in the cookie jar, that sick fuck. However, it wasn't entirely a lie. Only a few months later, it would be discovered that on December 21st of 2020, only 1 month after leaving YouTube, would Don pass away in Salem Hospital after
Good.
battling a lengthy illness.
Oh well.
I'd like to say this
I
story
don't
was a
feel bad.
tragic one, but it's really
Nope.
not. It wasn't like Don made a poor, regretful mistake years ago like Ederin
He
did.
never got
He
caught.
became a sex offender a year before he died. And what's worse, almost seemed like he
Okay,
was
he got
rubbing it
caught,
in.
but
I
still.
want to thank Wavy Webster for these first 2 entries. I found them both in one of his videos, and I just don't want to seem like I'm copying him or anything. It's just extremely hard to find influencers over 60 who also did a terrible thing. The only thing more difficult was finding somebody under 10. Don't worry.
What?
Quite the interesting entry for that one. Just
Oh,
wait
I
and
wanna
see.
see.
The Indigo Mystic.
I know there's
Generation
kids
X.
who
Now, I
fire
promise
guns
you this next entry isn't a
accidentally.
perfect.
So
I
maybe.
have to mix it up a little bit. However, the story of the Indigo Mystic is a tragic one. Something I don't think I can talk that lightheartedly about. The Indigo Mystic, her real name being Jessica Worsham, was a mother of 2 living in Houston, Georgia, who posted content relating to mysticism and psychic readings.
But words
Okay.
are spells. That's why we go to school to learn how to spell words. They're spells. How like I could hear, you know, people's names and things like that when, like whenever they watch my video and things like that.
She truly believed she had psychic abilities and aimed to use her platform to connect with like-minded individuals and open discussion for those who
Okay.
also believed they had superhuman powers. As crazy as this may sound to some of you, it wasn't hurting anybody, so, you know, what's the harm? Initially creating her account in 2013, her discussions regarding these abilities were reportedly lighthearted and generally expressed with positivity and goodwill. From the surface, her intentions seemed naturally harmless. However, those who became more familiar with Jessica's channel would soon see her struggling family life, raising herself and 2 daughters. Being unemployed, Jessica found aid from a family friend who allowed her and her children to take residency in one of their vacant homes that they were attempting to sell. Seeing no harm in helping a struggling mother of 2, the deal was that Jessica and her children could stay at this home, rent-free, for as long as it took them to sell the property. It wasn't a permanent solution, but it was certainly better than couch surfing, something they got far too comfortable doing. Unfortunately, it took the family friend 3 years to sell the home.
No way.
And I say unfortunately because I think staying in the house for so long gave Jessica a feeling of entitlement. She began arguing with the friends who graciously gave Jessica a
3
home for 3
years.
years.
To
And even
sell
went
a
as far
home?
as
What?
to bring them to court, unsurprisingly losing the case and being ordered to leave the residence.
I know you watching me, and I know you're scared. He's too scared to even try to.
Look at her. Look at the eyes. She's got crazy eyes. And you can tell she's struggling with something. I don't know if it's mental health or she was on drugs. I don't know. Maybe both.
To communicate with me telepathically, but you're scared, aren't you, Benji? You used to be a good person, didn't you, Benji?
Her mental state was already clearly declining. She was delusional and almost appeared to live in a fantasy world, thinking
Yeah,
anything
she
that
looks like a
negatively
Jedi.
impacted her and her kids was a direct attack on herself. As a result, she would delete every video on the Indigo Mystic YouTube channel and start from scratch, this time with a much darker vendetta, illuminating over the whole channel.
You got my address. I made sure of that,
What?
because I wanted to see just how cowardly you were. Ooh, my ears are ringing like crazy right now. Because you know what's coming for you?
She once again began jumping from house to house, taking advantage of those nice enough to allow a struggling mother into their homes. However, this time,
Okay, how
Jessica
do you
had no censor
do you
for speaking
spend-
her mind.
Jesus Christ. Okay, how do you spend like 3 years without getting a job? What the fuck? Especially with 2 kids. Nah, she's insane. There's a reason why she can't get a job.
Sit down right here. Sit down right here. You need to leave. I'm trying to get that. You don't want none of me, I promise. Oh, yeah, I do. Fantastic. What am I doing?
She would continuously get into verbal and physical confrontations with those sparing a room for her family, and would train her daughters to record any dispute she had with the homeowners.
Oh god.
She did this in an effort to catch anything
I
she
feel bad
possibly
for
could to
kids.
use in court against the homeowners. However, I can't help but feel terribly disturbed at the trauma and distress she was inflicting as a result of doing this. They were groomed into recording
Poor kids.
any rising argument they witnessed and posted onto YouTube in an attempt to trick those watching into believing Jessica was the victim. Her poor children can be seen crying in many videos as Jessica argues with the homeowners. I'm sure times like this can be
sucks.
difficult and very hard to navigate. I personally don't know anything about it, so excuse me for
I wonder
speaking
what happened
on
to
it.
the
However,
kids.
getting your children involved at this level because you can't control your emotions, it's just not something they should be worrying about at such a young age. Somebody needed to step in, and after witnessing the life this family was living through the videos on YouTube, someone did. The children's biological father, a man named Sean, requested for the courts to grant him custody of the children after watching the situation their mother was subjecting them to. However, this effort to steal Jessica's children away was the final fuse needed to ignite a long-building tower of
Oh
impending
god.
disaster.
Because all any of this
Alright, she killed the father. That's my guess. That's what I'm guessing.
does is fuel my fire. Because I was born in a flame.
Yeah,
Nothing
she
but
looks
fire.
crazy as fuck.
And
Holy
you can
fuck.
look into my eyes and you can see it.
Oh no, I can see the fire.
Jessica
Yeah.
completely lost
You got
it.
some demon
She fell
inside.
victims to her delusions and was completely detached from reality. She began making
Why is she
threats to
always
her
wearing
husband and
headphones? What the
attempted to
fuck?
hex the judge responsible for her case, casting spells and accusing him of wild accusations.
Regret, right? Scared? Can't sleep at night? Up all night? Maybe having ulcers? Yeah,
What?
that's right. If you only knew who I was. I really hope you guys can see the irony in this.
She's crazy, but she's also incredibly stupid. If you're trying to keep your kids, why are you antagonizing the judge? Like, it's not fair, but most cases, when it comes to custody, women have an incredible advantage, and you are going after the judge. Who, if you say nothing, he's probably gonna be on your side, with how fucked up the system is. She's not just crazy, she's fucking stupid. And I'm glad she's that fucking dumb. I hope the kids are doing
and the
well.
humor, because it's really hilarious, and it's going to be even more hilarious when my plan falls into place.
This phrase of when her plan comes into place was something she used often in reference to those who have wronged her. However, after arriving to the courthouse one day, wielding a staff and berating the judge, it was ruled that custody would be transitioned to the children's father, and we would
Good.
finally get a glimpse as to what her mysterious plan likely was.
Got one thing to show you though. Hang on real quick.
Okay.
This is Betty.
Jessica
Of course.
had a gun, and she was currently on the run from the police. She would refuse the ruling to give up custody of her children and quickly left town. You would think she would lay low, to mitigate the risk of exposing her locations. However, she would continue to post on her YouTube channel. I don't want to speak on the relationship between these children and their father. He could have been a douchebag or an abuser. He obviously wasn't in the picture up until this point, so maybe the mother was protecting them. However, I can't help but feel deeply disturbed by this video.
Okay, I need an answer. Why are you doing it? Are you doing it because you don't want to pay child support?
Because you're gonna ruin their lives.
Isabella, do you want to be with Sean?
No,
Do you love him?
no.
Well, how do you feel about him?
I think you're disgusting.
It seems
God
on
damn.
many accounts, Jessica was brainwashing her children to think just like her.
Yep.
And it wouldn't be long for this anxiety-inducing bubble.
Yeah, that happens all the time with custody. Especially when the mother has like a beef with the father, they just brainwash the kid to hate the father. I don't know anything about the father. Maybe he's a piece of shit. We don't know. I just assume he's, at least normal, unlike her.
Of tragic affairs to take a chilling conclusion. On November 5th of 2021, Jessica got into another argument with the family they were living with. As usual, the residents of the home instructed Jessica to pack her things, and the children were quick to grab their camera and record the dispute. The young man living at the home told Jessica that he was calling the police, and the kids quickly ran upstairs crying to post the video, in fear that they may have lost another home. However, this wouldn't be the final video posted on that day. Shortly after, another video will be posted, featuring the police arriving and Jessica greeting them at the door with her weapon in her hand.
Oh god.
Directly after this, would over a dozen shots be fired between both Jessica and the police arriving to the scene. It was a
Okay.
full-blown shootout. You could hear the children crying and screaming in the video, and as the smoke cleared, two would unfortunately be left dead. 49-year-old
Oh,
Deputy
no.
Lena Marshall and Jessica Worsham. As always, the children did what they were trained to do: post their mother's disputes to YouTube. And unsure entirely of what just happened, they would title their final video, "My Mother is Dead," I think.
Jesus Christ.
Days later, every video on the channel would be deleted. Sturmgeist89, Millennials.
Nah, I got a break. Oh my god, that was a heavy one. That was fucked up. I want to know an update. I want to know what happened to the kids. That's fucked. Imagine how fucked up you have to be and how brainwashed you have to be by her to upload the video where you think she just got gunned down by the police. That's just fucked up in so many ways. She wasn't really a YouTuber. Like, I saw the views, she wasn't getting any views, so I don't think she counts as a YouTuber, but
Sturmgeist89 is
anyway.
the online alias for Pekka Erik Avuen, a young man born in Finland in 1989 who went by Erik for short. During his school years, he was typically regarded as a shy student, often isolating himself from others and blushing easily when embarrassed. According to some, he'd even been the target of long-term bullying, a sad and unfortunate reality that can send some down a very dangerous path. As a result of the treatment from others, Erik became cold, hanging up his shy personality for one fueled by anger and aggression. I normally say good for you. Screw the haters and stand up for yourself when people are taking advantage of you. However, Erik took it way too far. He was vengeful, twistedly vengeful. Between 2006 and 2007, Numerous students at Jokela High School, the school Eric attended, would report him several times for aggressive behavior and threats of violence. And I'm not talking threats like say that one more time and I'll punch you. I'm talking threats of murdering everybody in what he called a white revolution.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
It was pretty serious. Eric became a Nazi enthusiast and became obsessed with studying the twisted ideologies of the regime. Soon he turned his attention to a fascination with the Columbine shooting, one of the worst school massacres in history, and not long after, branched out to an admiration of many mass tragedies, almost all involving the death and torture of numerous people. You might be asking, what does any of this have to do with him being an influencer? Well, this is just the foundation to lay the groundwork on Eric's warped and morbid personality, and explain what led to some people calling him the first YouTube killer.
Hello everyone, this is me, Natural Selector 89, talking to you, friends and haters and everyone else.
In March of 2007, Eric created a YouTube channel titled Natural Selector 89. Yeah, you can see where this...
Oh my God, that fucking name. Oh my God. Alright, so... I mean, he already said it, but I'm gonna guess. School shooting, I'm guessing.
This is going. He began posting videos insulting religion and quickly began expressing extreme views of violence. Even those who were generally on board with him had to step back for a second and ask him to calm down. He was relentless, and soon as extreme views and prejudice got his channel terminated, an action that only fueled his anger more, adding water to a boiling pot that was soon to tip over. He created a new channel titled Sturmgeist 9, where he would discuss his plan to reform the world the best way he saw fit. The new channel's description read, "I am prepared to fight and die for my cause. I, as a natural selector, will eliminate all who I see unfit. Disgraces of human race and failures of natural selection." This term, natural selection, is a reference to Charles Darwin's theory, stating that individuals best adapted to their environments are more likely to survive and reproduce. Basically, this meant that those who are more fit to survive will, and those who aren't won't. However, this was generally meant to reflect nature's impact on organisms. So say some act of God were to leave the earth covered in water and all humans died as a result of drowning, you could say that we all died from natural selection.
Yeah.
However, Eric interpreted this as more of a power ranking, thinking that those who survive are stronger than those who don't. And after years of relentless bullying, Eric was determined to show the world who was worthy of surviving and who wasn't. Eric was about to become a natural selector. On November 7th of 2007, Eric entered Jokela High School and began a massacre against the students who had wronged.
Oh my God. Yep, school shooting. I'm not surprised, but you know, that's just so sad. What's even worse is that it happens all the time now. It's just so fucking depressing. I'm glad, you know, in a way, I'm glad these people are just openly racist. They just let you know he was probably a Nazi. If you ever meet someone like that, you know, be ready. Get a gun. Have the police ready. I don't know. But it's way easier, at least should be easier to prevent stuff like that when they are so openly hateful.
Wronged him. He walked through the corridors, firing at students and adults, sparing some and killing others. In the end, that's what it was all about. His choice and his decision. He attempted to raise an army, shouting orders, proclaiming a revolution, and urging the students to destroy school property. However, no one followed. His attack lasted for almost 25 minutes, and as the police began to arrive at the premises, Eric would fire at them only a few times before hiding out in a nearby bathroom and dying by his own hand. Many students were soon rushed to the hospital, and as distressed parents began to pray that their children were safe, it was discovered that Eric had killed 7 students. Later that day, it was discovered that before arriving at school, Eric posted his manifesto online and uploaded one more video to his YouTube channel.
3 kinds of
This was of a picture of his school building, before cutting to a photo of Eric, dyed in a red red hue, pointing a gun at the camera. He then wrote, "History will be made today." The video was titled Jokela High School Massacre, 11/7/2007. The thing that haunts me about this entire case were the immense warning signs that were ignored by almost everybody. His entire school knew about his YouTube channel. It wasn't a secret. He would openly talk about his desire to eliminate those who had wronged
that's
him,
what
and
I'm
even
saying.
posted videos of himself firing rounds with the recently purchased
He
firearm.
lets you know.
There was even a
You have to be
YouTuber by the
ready.
name The Amazing Atheist who directly called out Eric as a person who reflects overwhelming signs of becoming a mass murderer.
We're always talking about about warning signs, and could we have seen it coming? Well, you know what? If you want to look for warning signs, there they are. Those are your warning signs.
This video...
Yeah, he didn't give you a warning sign. He gave you a whole fucking billboard letting you know. Where was the police? Like, what happened?
was posted 5 months before the attack, and he urged police to investigate Eric. However, no one listened. In fact, many people at the school were reportedly concerned. However, no one intervened. I like to think that we learned from this, and I truly hope we do. However, this happened in 2007, and to this day, I still hear similar tales. My prayers go out to those affected and those lost in the Jokela High School shooting. To everybody involved, I'm truly sorry. Generation Z, Not So Fantastic Devin. Not So Fantastic Devin, real name
That's my
Devin
Gen.
Erickson, was a seemingly
I'm
normal
Gen Z.
kid born in Colorado. He liked video games and music, even posting covers of songs he would sing online to an audience of friends and family. He would stream video games on his YouTube channel, and from a quick glimpse, you would think Devin lived a happy life with many friends. However, this was far from the case. He's often been found speaking about how he was bullied and discriminated against because of his sexual orientation and appearance, something he found he could most comfortably find support in from his best friend Alec Macheni, who was also bullied due to his recent gender transition. The two soon discussed their treatment from others, and quickly found that they were tired of the constant ridicule and harassment against their lifestyles. On May 7th of 2019, the two gathered at Devin's house to gather the equipment they needed. A rifle and 2 guns stolen from Devin's parents. They hid the weapons in Devin's guitar case and drove to the STEM school Highlands Ranch. This was the charter school they attended, and guess what? They were able to just walk straight on in through the back door with a bag of guns. It was here that the two would split up and each would go their own way, with Devin moving toward the high school portion of the school and Alec moving toward the middle school section. I can't find a reliable account, but I have heard a rumor that Devin showed severe signs of stress during this time, so much so that he actually found a few moments to think in the bathroom, a time some people believe to be Devin possibly debating going to the principal's office and confessing to the entire plan. Regardless if this was true or not, this unfortunately would not happen. Soon after, Devin entered one of the classrooms holding a weapon, pointing it at the students, yelling, "Get to the ground." However, unexpectedly, 3 heroic students charged immediately at Devin. Joshua Jones, Brandon Biley, and Kendrick Ray Castia. Quickly, Kendrick flailed his body towards the gun, and in the struggle, a shot was fired. Devin had shot Kendrick, and he would bleed out right there on the floor. The 2 others wrestled Devin to the ground. Meanwhile, Alec was firing shots in a different wing of the facility, and the whole building was in utter panic. Eventually, police arrived and apprehended Alec, concluding the Colorado STEM school shootings, killing 1 and injuring 8. You might be wondering why I included Devin in this list, since his small presence on YouTube barely made him a creator, and even though he was a kid with social media accounts, his internet presence wasn't that large. Or so it may seem. See, in the court trial for Derek Erickson's attack on the Colorado STEM school...
What? How long? Oh my god. Okay.
Eric would make a drastic change in appearance. He arrived at the court with bright purple hair, an odd choice that insulted many. However, users on TikTok had a much different reaction. Like more and more cases I unfortunately see nowadays, many people started admiring Devin's appearance, calling him cute and essentially simping over a school shooter. Some even took it as far as to say the court should be lenient based on how innocent and adorable
Oh my god.
Yeah, a school shooter, innocent and adorable.
Yeah, that happens with serial killers. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's like and it's also really common for some reason. Like a bunch of women just love someone who's like a killer. I don't get it.
There's even edits online using his appearance and essentially making him a mini celebrity out of a villain who should honestly be forgotten. I never got the whole attraction to crazy killers bit. You know, I get freaked out enough if I see a random gem appear on my nightstand, never by worry about somebody killing me. Luckily, the power of the United States gavel was too mighty for the TikTok love affair, and Derek Erickson was sentenced to life in prison without parole. I like to take a moment to acknowledge all the brave souls that helped save lives that day, but especially Kendrick Costello, the student who died.
That's my dude.
Those around him.
Imagine they didn't stop him. Like, imagine he actually just started shooting everyone in the classroom.
Sacrifice won't be forgotten. Nali Lu, Generation Alpha. Okay, so before we start, let me tell you that it is borderline impossible to find an influencer under 10 years old who did a terrible thing. You have to remember that these children are in elementary school. The odds of them even getting famous are little to none, and the worst thing that they could possibly do is determine their sexual orientation by which Fortnite character they're most attracted to. However, I did find something interesting. A social media account featuring a child pop star that might be hiding a disturbing secret. Let me explain. Present on many social media platforms is Nali Lu, a very young female pop star who was clearly created using AI.
Hi! My friends and I recently went to an amusement park.
Ew.
I love amusement rides.
She's a singer who creates songs, also written by AI, and the account is used to promote her
It
work.
looks so creepy.
Now, there's a few layers to the problems I have with this account. One is this account is clearly ran by an adult. No kid that age knows how to create and brand an account in this manner, never mind learning how to create AI songs with good quality and link them through different social media channels. Also, seeing that they optimize SEO using relevant tactics to drive engagement makes me 99.9% sure this is an adult trying to profit off the image of little girls using AI. Yeah, this might not seem that bad, I guess. However, now we're treading on an odd world of ethics that I think we're soon gonna have to address in the world of AI. If I post a bunch of pictures of random little girls on social media accounts with plans to profit off it, I'll have the feds and the IRS here faster than Diddy fled to the Caribbean. But what if these weren't little girls, but hyper-realistic ones created by computers with their own unique AI voices? You
so
get what
bad.
I'm saying, right? This might not seem inherently that bad, but it's certainly unethical. And I think it's the first stepping stones into a dark world of AI technology that's unfortunately not being concerned. You can also find the creator using Nali. I'm not gonna jump into any heinous conclusions, as this is the non-disturbing. I'm not gonna jump into that whole category, as it's likely not the case, as you all watch. Thank you all again, and see you soon.
Alright, that was a good video. I was hoping we got a real child. I know there's been cases, maybe not YouTubers, but there's been cases where kids have, stolen their parents' guns and they shot the teacher. That's happened a few times, actually. It's really sad, it's kind of fucked up. This was a really good video, but it was a fucked up, just depressing ass topic. But yeah, good stuff.